Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do is lay out your landscape. So you need to have something that covers your entire long strip of paper here. So I'm going to have some rolling hills. You're just laying out the basics right now, so I'm not going to lay in any trees. First we'll do one covering and then we'll add some details to it. So I've got 3 sets of hills going off into the distance, and then I've got my sky. The things that you have at your table: you have scissors inside the blue basket. You have a bucket that's going to be for your scraps for recycle. So rather than putting them on the table where they fall to the floor and you have to pick them up later, put them right into the recycle bucket. And then you have this bin full of magazines. The magazines are going to start off in the bin like this, so they are not sitting on top, they are not sitting on the tables or on the floors. They need to be back in the table bins like this before you go. And the last thing that you have at your table is glue and a glue brush. This is regular Elmer's glue. It just takes too long to refill those bottles all the time. So now what you're going to do is look through the magazines. You're not looking for a landscape necessarily. You could find one and use the colors of it. So I could tear this page out and use these as part of my landscape, and I think maybe I'll do that. Rather than cutting out pieces from the magazine, go ahead and tear out the whole page. No one wants to use a half a page anyway. Grab some scissors, and remember, for cubism, things are broken up into different shapes. They are sometimes different colors than what they normally would be in real life. So I'm going to cut these out in sort of long triangles. Now, you don't actually want to cut up your whole thing and then expect that you're going to be able to glue it down tomorrow, because most likely you won't have it anymore. So I'm going to start off with some of these bigger ones and actually have to cut them down some more. When you're gluing, you're going to take your glue brush. I just dabbed a little bit in the glue and paint some glue on the back, just to the inside of the piece, not over the whole thing. And then I'm going to start by working down here in this corner. This first layer, we're going to cover the entire page. You're going to end up with no white of the page left. It can come off a little bit and we'll trim that up later. Right now I'm going to try and stay within this first rolling hill, and I'm going to switch colors as I go back. So as you're thinking about your other colors, you want to think about space. Space gets duller as it gets to the back, it gets less details. But we're also working in something that is fairly abstract, so you can decide to follow that rule or you can decide to not follow that rule. And I'm actually going to get brighter as I go to the back for mine. There, so now I have one of my rolling hills done. So I'm going to go ahead and change colors so they show up well. If I used another kind of dark green, they would blend together and your readability would hurt. So I'm going to change colors going back, and I'm not going to follow the rule of getting duller as it gets to the back for space, because it's this abstract, so I'm actually going to get brighter as it gets further away from me.